Out here, we are trying to read the hand of a person, and this is his right hand. Right hand is the active hand, and the left hand is the passive hand. If there are similarities between the right and the left hand, it doesn't matter if we read the right or the left. The result is going to come out to the same. There are many similarities in the left and the right hand, so we can read any hand as such. What we find here, the first thing to see is the structure of the hand. The structure of the hand appears to be very good. By structure, we mean basically the bone structure, as well as bone structure, as well as if there's a good padding over the fingers and palm in general, we consider it to be a good structured hand. If a person has got a good structured hand, it means that the person has got a very good hold over people, money, and resources. With lesser money, these people go out, venture out to do bigger things in life. And with lesser amount of people to help them, still they get the work done. Be it in service or be it in their own work, it applies to both areas. If a person is doing his own business or if he is into service. We find here that the person is capable to do extremely good in his business, and the indications are really good. For to see if a person can be good in business or service, the reading is similar. It doesn't matter if a person is doing a business or service. If a person is a good money manager, he is automatically going to be good in service as well as business. To see if a person is good money manager, we see the heart line. If the heart line is starting under the mount of Saturn, this is the second finger, and the mount under it is considered to be the mount of Saturn. If the heart line is starting under the mount of Saturn, it means that the person is materialistic and goes for outer appearances, and it is an excellent sign for a person who can manage money well. So this is one of the good indications to have. Such people are materialistic and they target towards money. They want more and more of money, so they are likely to get more money. So first thing is the desires. If a person has got good desires or not. To see if a person has got desires, we look at the amount of Venus. If the amount of Venus is prominent, as we see in this particular case, there appears to be a good padding over the amount of Venus, which automatically means the Venus mount is good. We don't see any bad marking as such. By bad markings, we say that not too many lines are crossing over and touching the money line or the headline. So we consider it to be nice. The line shouldn't be like this over this particular amount. Not too many. If they are very light kind of lines, we say that it's okay. But if they are very strong lines, it is not considered to be good. So we don't find any wrong kind of lines over the amount of Venus. This automatically means that the person has got good amount of energy levels, vitality, stamina, great amount of desires, sexual desires, as well as general desires to have a good life. They seek beauty, and they basically create a good atmosphere around themselves. So Mount of Venus is a planet to see for success, because if a person doesn't have energies, it's likely that the person might not succeed in his life. So good health also comes from the amount of Venus. If it's prominent, it's likely that the person's recovery is much faster compared to people who don't have a prominent Mount of Venus. Mount of Venus also gives great amount of good taste in every sphere of life, be it clothes, be it food, or be it the partner they are seeking. And there's a combination between the Venus and the Mars. These two areas, basically, this is Mars is fire, Venus is energy. So it's a combination of these two together that makes life much more simpler and much more enjoyable. And if a person doesn't have any fire, this is the area of aggression, fire. If the person doesn't have the right kind of fire, the aggression, the person is likely not to be able to succeed in life. So, and the person would get angry over trivial issues, and the person would not reach his goal. So, if there are bad lines over here, which we don't see out here, if there were bad lines, it would mean that the person would be getting angry over wrong issues. But out here, the person, there are no bad lines as such, only few. We don't count. There would be some bad lines or such, but these are very small and weak lines, so we don't give too much of importance to these particular lines. And as such, the person might get angry, but his anger would be only targeted to get the work done. The other aspect to see on his palm is the headline and the lifeline are tied together for a long duration of time. It means that the person is very hardworking by nature, might be a little bit shy, and the person might be slow to move. But at the same time, these people are very hardworking and they succeed sometime after the age of 35 in some cases, and sometime even later, sometime at the age of 44. But in this case, we can say a little bit earlier, because there are many good indications in the palm, so we basically make it more earlier, let's say 35 or so. We also find on the headline there's an upward line that is going towards the mount of the fourth finger. That is the mount of Mercury, and Mercury mount basically signifies knowledge. It signifies technical skills, communication skills, business skills. All the skills basically come from Mercury. So in the case of doctors, in the case of engineers, businessmen, orators, journalists, be it lawyers, this area should be excellent. By what we mean by excellent, if there's a good padding, we don't see a very good perpendicular lines over it. So even if a person has got perpendicular lines over the mount of Mercury, it is considered to be good, and it gives positive result, and the person would be good at networking. So it's a good sign. We see this upward line from the headline going towards the mount of Mercury. This basically means at the age of 35, this juncture, the crossing of the money line and the headline is considered to be age 35. So at this stage 35, this upward movement means that some benefits are going to come, probably due to better education, or the person upgrades his knowledge, or due to his mental aptitude, he would gain. So it's a good sign to have. On the headline, we see another thing, that is the headline is going at this point, and there's a little bit curve downwards, and then the life continues. So this small downward curve, I'm just remove it, you see out here. So normally downward line is not considered to be good. It might create some problems. So this juncture is a little bit before the age of 35. So we can say approximately it could be 32 or 31. That's the approximate age when troubles are going to come, but they're going to get solved because the line is much clearer and deeper as we go by. If we see the heart line also is a major line to see for success, because if the heart line is not good, the person is likely not to succeed. And it's due to, because we see on this particular line, if the person is focused, and if the person is focused and the person is not flirtatious, he is likely to succeed because he can give his energies to one particular work. So it's a good sign to have. Many people have got very deep and dark and confusing kind of lines, so those lines are not considered to be good. Some people have got broken kind of lines, heart line. We might be talking about heart, which is basically emotions, but our emotional life is very important, and it has a far-reaching effect on our work. So we should give great importance to the heart line, the starting and the ending. That is a major thing to see. The other thing to see on the palm is the sun line. Out here we see a prominent sun line and a V-like section towards the end. V-like section is considered to be good, and it gives power to the area of mount of sun, and mount of sun basically, if we find strong lines over the mount of sun, it basically means that the person is likely to be successful and in whatever work they take up. The money line is ending towards on the mount of Jupiter. It automatically means that the mount of Saturn. It automatically means that the person would be able to create a good amount of possessions in his life. The mount of Mars is also seen for aggression, but at the same time it's also seen for property. If the amount of Mars is good, it automatically means that the person would gain through properties. If he buys properties, the person would gain. Now we see the left hand. Few signs on the left hand. We see here that this is the lifeline, and there are few upward lines which we see out here. So this comes sometime around the age of 35 to 45, could be plus minus few years. But these basically is a good indication. These are basically luck lines. The person is going to be lucky in his life. In these years, whatever he takes up, he's going to be successful. We do find here that the money line is coming from here, and it's kind of changing over at this age 35. So few changes might take place at the age of 35. It's not too clear, but it appears that this line is there, and upward line over the mount of Jupiter gives a person high position power, and person is forward looking. The sun line is also good. The career line is also good in the left hand. So if both hands shows a similar sign, it makes it much stronger. We see perpendicular lines over the mount of Mercury, again a good indication. We see two lines over the two or three prominent lines. It basically means 2 or 3. The person might have 2 or 3 different set of skills. So again a good indication to have. And there's a triangle-like formation is getting formed out here. Again a good indication for money and possessions. Fewer lines over this particular palm automatically means that the person would not be distracted, and there's only one more thing to see is that proportion of the third finger and the first finger. This third finger appears to be longer compared to the first. This is comparatively much shorter. So whenever this finger is a little bit short, it means that the person is submitting kind of a nature. Person submits himself to others' wishes. The person the person might put others' views over his own views more. If this Jupiter finger was longer, it would mean that the person would be bossy, but out here we don't see this particular aspect. If we see the thumb out here, there's a double loop like a formation, skin pattern which we see out here, and on the thumb it means that a dual kind of a person who is he always have got two views in sphere of willpower. The first section, the second section is reasoning, and the third section is the area of Venus, which automatically means love, affection, beauty. So in these particular spheres of life, he would have double mind. If he has to deal with other people's like if somebody takes a suggestion in this particular field, their love life, he would be very comfortable and shows them both the sides of the coin. But when it concerns himself, he's kind of confused, and he would say something but do something else. It doesn't mean that he's not dependable, but it's just his basic nature. Only in this particular sphere of life, the willpower, the reasoning, and the love life, he would be undecided what to eat and what not to eat on a day-to-day basis. He would change his mind often, and what to buy or what not to buy. Small things, he would be indecisive. So in general, I would say an excellent hand. He should aim high, aim highest, and bigger the aim, better the result. These hands basically show great amount of success. So he should set his goals really high and then just work upon it. Success will come in time to come. That's it for this particular reading. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, click on the like button and do subscribe. Thanks again.